The job market is very, very tough out there. A guy I was playing pickleball with today that I'm good buddies with. There's actually a few. I have my initial circle and then kind of the larger circle of buddies that I hang out with. And this guy, he's been unemployed since January. He was a tech sales kid. Well, guy, I guess he's probably 26 or something like that. There's a lot of people like that right now, which makes me so thankful that my business is expanding like it is. But you are not better than the economic cycles. So this is definitely not the time to be spending every single dollar that you make. At least I'm not, from personal experience. Just looking what happened to people in 2008 and in other times when there was economic hardships. Even if you ran a great business, even if you were buying the best real estate in the best locations, you were going to take a massive hit for a few years. And so this is not when I want my monthly expenses to be $10,000 per month. I'm going out tonight because it's kind of my last weekend in Arizona. I'll be going to Colombia for the summertime. And so my buddy said that we were going to go out, and usually at least the last time I bought a few bottles because one of my buddies was visiting. It was my first time going out in Arizona. I've actually only gone out once, maybe twice. And I just want to have a good time. And because the people that I'm surrounded with, whenever they go out, they just buy freaking all the bottles in the club because all the people that I work with, they're incredibly, incredibly, incredibly wealthy. I just felt like I should repay the service, so I did, but I probably definitely won't do that tonight, especially just getting I don't the quote unquote the vibe of what I'm seeing from younger people who maybe are not in the best economic situation. They are definitely struggling. Even though I'm not, my business is expanding. I'm making more money than I really need. This is the time to, I think, just focus on having a cash pile for when or if there are economic times coming, because I know that there are. So that's what I'm focused on right now. It's really expanding my business, but not taking on a ton of unnecessary expenses. Uh, so kind of more safety style, just having the best possible results. Right now, the way I get paid is usually just a percentage of the profits I can earn people. And so if incomes are down significantly, my income will definitely go down significantly as well. Fortunately, I'm working with people who have so much money, they are kind of recession proof, especially Ken. Ken and McElroy, one of the guys that I work with, he has 10,000 real estate units, but he hasn't bought anything over the past 2.5 years because interest rates were high, prices were high, the math didn't work. So he has a ridiculous amount of cash on the sidelines. And now there's a massive multifamily properties because he usually buys anywhere from 250 to maybe 400 units at a time, which is $100 million. Right now, he has a deal in escrow for $100 million. That's 30% less than what it costs to build, or $50,000 per unit under the cost to build, which is ridiculous. And so those are the types of deals that are coming. So he's going to be flourishing over the next few years. So working with someone like that who has been preparing for this is epic because they are going to be taking the most advantage, which is fantastic for me. Because if your employers, let's just say you do have a job, if your employers are screwed, guess what? You're probably screwed as well. So I would definitely be focused on trying to provide as much value as possible to your company to where you just it's definitely not the time to be asking for raises every single month. I don't think, even though the cost of stuff is going up, I think job safety is the bigger issue. Because this guy that I was talking to, he's in tech sales, which already that's a tough gig because there's been a ton of layoffs. But he says he's applied to a few hundred interviews, and I mean, a few hundred jobs, and he's only gotten interviews with a few dozen companies, and he hasn't gotten any jobs. And I know a lot of people like this right now, which is a very, very unfortunate. So you do have a good job right now. I mean, good for you. And I always talk about growing my business, but I mean, if you have no income and nothing going on, I mean, it's tough. People say that, oh, I'm just going to stop working and I'm just going to go all in on my business. I don't think that's necessarily the right answer if you have monthly expenses. If you have zero expenses and you're in high school and you're living at home, then yes, I think that makes sense. But if you are living on your own, you have monthly expenses, and your only option is to make money from your business, it's unlikely. It's unlikely to make money from your business for a year or two. I mean, it took me like 3 years before I started making any money, or maybe 2.5 years before I started making any money. And so if I had monthly expenses there, I would have been screwed. I mean, there's no way. I didn't really have much expenses, and I was having income coming in, but I mean, I would have been completely screwed. So I feel like you just gotta, and you're probably not good at what you do. That's the problem. The problem is people quit their job and have zero experience and zero skills and can't make other people more money or provide value to the marketplace. And then they expect to make money instantly and take on some clients. It's highly, highly unlikely that that's going to occur that way, because you need to build up the skills, and the way you doing that is by taking on these clients. So if I had a good job, I'd probably stick with it and start that side hustle and just freaking grind, because that's probably what's needed. Either way, I mean, I'm not in that situation, and I don't give advice because I don't think people need to be taking more advice from people. It doesn't. Uh, Everyone knows what they need to do, I think. I truly believe that if you ask yourself, you're going to come up with 100,000 times better answer than 99% of people giving you advice, because you know yourself, you know your situation, you know what you need to do, you know what you need to stop doing. That's usually the bigger issue. What are the things that you're doing that you know you shouldn't be doing? Freaking eating junk food, jacking off, not working out, watching Netflix, and all these freaking garbage, high dopamine stimulating things at all times. I mean, people know they shouldn't be doing that, but they still do. So anyway, I'm just thinking from a personal standpoint, even though like everything's going really, really well for me right now, I just keep on having in the back of my mind, every super successful person that I know has lost everything before. And I really don't want to lose everything. Uh, so I just don't want to. So I'm really thinking about that. Anyway, got to get ready. I'm probably a little tired. Don't necessarily want to go out, but I'm going to hang out with my buddies and drink maybe 2 drinks or something like that. I don't know.